Hello, my name is Phil Svitek, 360 Creative Coach, and in this how-to video, I wanted to present to you my workspace, more specifically my desk, because it's something that I feel like often gets overlooked. Part of its organization, part of its just physical workflow, but I feel like we don't value it as much and we don't put a lot of thought into it. And so I want to highlight to you a couple of things that help me in terms of making content in my day-to-day, because I spend a lot of time at my desk, whether it's video editing, audio editing, writing, answering emails, creating schedules, and so forth. If you think about it, most of the work that we do is at our desks. And so it's important to create the best environment, right? So here we go. I'm going to kind of flip the camera. And so here's my work desk. Now, I've had to kind of expand because I have people come over and they need to work. So I've created kind of a workstation just for them here. I already have one of my laptops there in case they wanted to use it. Sometimes if I have a lot of projects going on, which does happen, I use this as kind of like a render farm. And then I have a side table where I put like any major paperwork for the day that I would need to deal with. As you can see right now, what I've got here is my Master Mental Fortitude preview copy. It's actually out now, so if you want to get it on mastermentalfortitude.com, you can. Underneath that, again, just kind of showing you an example of how my workflow. I've got my novel that I'm editing. So what I'm doing is, as I go through and make changes, I highlight to indicate that I've completed a certain note. Anyway, that's just kind of minor details. The overall thing of it is, so I have a standing desk, and I highly recommend that to people because I like to rotate. If I'm going to spend basically the majority of my day at a desk, apart from, let's say, walking a dog sometimes or whatever else, like I do make a conscious effort to do a lot of walking, but nonetheless, having a standing desk really helps to kind of just switch it up and not be so stiff all the time. The other added benefit of having a standing desk is even when it's down, my keyboard, it creates a good eye level for my monitors, so that way I'm not craning my neck down, and it creates like a 90-degree angle for my hands. So it's perfect. I'm not hunching over, which I use a lot. As you can see, I have two laptops here, and what I don't like about laptops is that the keyboard, you're always kind of looking down at the screen in terms of your neck, and so it does add a little bit of strain on the neck. And that's why for long-term projects, I mainly work on my desktop, and I utilize, I like having this shelf here so it lowers the keyboard and raises the monitors. As you can see, I have quite a few things here, though, apart from just the desk. So I use dual monitors because a lot of the stuff that I do is editing based, and that includes audio, video, and just even writing in general. So I always need to be referencing. I just like a lot of screen space. Nowadays, monitors aren't that expensive, so I highly encourage you, if you're doing any of this type of work. For me, just one screen isn't enough. I've just kind of been brought up on having at least two screens. Now, as you can see, I constantly have even more screens. And so, normally what I'll do is I'll have the main project that I'm working on for the day. Let's say it's a video editing project. I'll have that loaded up, and on one screen, I'll have my preview window, I'll have my program and my timeline, then I'll have all of my assets on this side, and maybe here I'll pull up any major notes and so forth, so that way I can cross-reference it. Then I have my tablet here, which maybe I'll kind of prop up in the middle of all of this and have the script or anything else. In that sense, I always keep a notebook handy because generally I write down my tasks for the day and I put it here. That way I can cross things off as I go. I also have, this is like a general pad of just basic notes for the feature I'm working on. I have pens over there, and also water, right? I'm always constantly trying to stay hydrated, so I have a lot of water that I drink. Now these are the kind of the specialized screen glasses. So because I spend so much time looking at screens, I try to utilize these. They're not necessarily stylish or whatever. They don't help with eyesight, but they do prevent screen whatever they call it, but just the light. I'm not absorbing the screen light as I normally would without them. So, and then the other thing that I encourage you to have is always have a good, comfortable chair. As you can see, this one's been kind of tried and tested. It's getting a little worn, but still a good chair. And I also have a shoulder brace. So, for me, having good posture is very important. Like I said, I don't like to hunch, and so having something like that prevents me from hunching over a lot. So I utilize it regardless of whether or not I'm sitting or standing. But in general, that's sort of my workflow of stuff. I try to keep the desk relatively clean as much as possible. That's why I create a lot of surface area for myself, and I try to keep things organized. Now, when I'm in the midst of things, it can get a little bit chaotic, but that's because I'm trying to work at the speed of thought. After I'm done, I always try to make sure everything's back to being clean and so forth. So that is my operating space, but I'm very curious to know how you like to organize yourself and be as efficient as possible. So by all means, let me know in the comment section down below. And also let me know what other sort of how-to videos you'd like me to teach, or any questions you'd like me to ask, or rather answer. I'd be more than happy to do so. That's, at the end of the day, apart from making my own content, I love teaching. So please do that. Anyway, I'm at Bill Svitek on social media, and hopefully I'll see you next time with another one of my videos.